Game day, y'all. You already know what time it is, man. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building. You guys know what time it is. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider, man. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, on the way in, make sure you guys wipe them feet. That means get those likes up around here. And also hit that subscribe button. I know I've said this a million times, but we're getting closer and closer to our goal of 30,000 subscribers. It's free. It costs you nothing. Just make sure to hit that button, hit that bell to get all the notifications over here at OLV Raiders Network. And also salute to everybody listening on Apple Podcast and Spotify. I see everybody in the chat already. Green Dot Gang is heavy in the building. Taino, I bleed silver and black. Dan, all my people, Demented, Big Mo, Oscar, Mon Dizzy, Freight Train, all my people, man. I appreciate you guys. Rose's in the building. Alzado, salute to you guys, man. So much. Today is a big day. Raiders, Seattle, in Seattle. Pete Carroll gets a chance to return home to his former stomping grounds. Preseason game 1. We're going to go over this today as well, you guys. But also, remember, me and Hammer will be live tonight for the game, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be calling it every step of the way. So if you guys are looking for somewhere to watch the game with other Raider fans, make sure you pull up to OLV Raiders Network in Hammer's house. We're going to be calling it play by play. So make sure you pull up. Also, I want to talk about a few things that I am looking forward to watching today. We'll do some predictions. We'll do some hot takes. And also, I want to talk about a few other things in the nation. The Raiders brought in a former first-round pick the other day for a workout. We're also going to talk about the whole AP situation. I am not going to talk about it for too long, you guys, because once again, he is no longer a Raider. But a lot of people were asking me for my opinion about it. So I'll definitely talk about that a little bit as well. But let's get to it, man. How are we feeling? Today is the big day. Raiders, Seattle. I spoke to a few of the guys before. Well, actually not before. When they landed in Seattle, reached out to a few of the dogs and was like, man, have a big game today. I'm excited to see what Dante can do. I'm excited to see what Dylan Lowby can do. Trey Taylor, my guy. I'm hoping that he gets a ton of reps today. Once again, we're expecting our starters to get some reps as well, you guys. Pete said it. Came out of the horse's mouth, right? So, but honestly, I don't want to see the starters too much. God forbid something happens. I don't want to see Geno return to Seattle and next thing you know, Aiden O'Connell was the quarterback or Cam Miller's the quarterback. If you want to go get a series, great. Be my guest. But other than that, man, let's not overthink this situation. I do not want to see the starters out there too much. I know a lot of people are excited to see Genty go out there and get to it. Series, 2 series tops. Let's get him out of there. Once again, Dante as well. It looks as though he will be a starter at the wide receiver position opposite of Trey Tucker and Jacoby Myers there in the slot. I don't want to see these guys too much. I don't. I'd rather keep an eye on specific camp battles, the offensive line. How is that thing going to move and shake? How is it going to look come week 1? I want to see the rooks, the kid Caleb Rogers. I want to see Charles Grant, what these guys look like out there. Also, I'm looking forward to seeing the linebacker position. And I'm not talking about Jermaine Pratt. I'm not talking about Landon Roberts. I'm talking about the other guys. I want to see Jalen Smith. I know he's a veteran, but what does he have? Does he have anything left in the tank? He missed all last season and did not play. He's up there in age, a little long in the tooth. I want to see Ferrari. I'm excited to see what Amari Gaynor, Lindenberg, and Tommy Eichenberg. This is an opportunity, you guys, for us to see a bunch of these young guys that are probably not going to be starters come week one, get some reps and potentially make this 53-man roster. Also, it gives us a better idea of how we're going to shape this practice squad. So I'm excited to see Tonka Hemingway. You know, they have him labeled as a defensive end right now. It's going to be fun to watch what that kid can do, the young defensive end / defensive tackle, just a defensive lineman as a whole out of South Carolina. Want to see what J.J. Pegues looks like. I want Jonah Lalu to get some reps because once again, yes, he may be our starter, but he's still really young. This is only year 2 in his career. I want to see him get some reps out there. So I'm keeping a close eye on the defensive tackle position. Definitely want to see Booker, our new kid that came over from Philly. I don't know how many reps he'll get because once again, he just came over in a trade that sent Jacorian Bennett to Philly. So I know he hasn't gotten an opportunity to go out there and really, get to it, but maybe we see Booker out there. We shall see. But Trey Taylor, once again, Chris Smith, it's going to be exciting to see what he can bring to the table. And then the cornerback position, Porter's going to get some reps, you guys. He'll probably be a starter, but he's still trying to get allocated to that position. He just moved from wide receiver to corner not too long ago. So I think he'll get some reps. And I'm very excited to see what DeCameron Richardson can do out there in Seattle as well. They're at the wide receiver position. Once again, I don't want to see Tucker. Don't want to see too much Dante. Definitely don't want to see Jacoby. I want to see some Jack Besh. But I'm keeping an eye on Alex Bachman and Tommy Mellott. Been hearing some great things about Bachman, that he's been making some flash plays out there at camp, and it looks as though he has his eye on one of those roster spots. I want to see what Tommy Mellott can do because, once again, the more I hear about this kid, the more it's more of a game thing. It's like, yeah, he may not shine at practice. He may not shine in training camp, but he is a game day type guy. Athleticism on full display, dynamic, speed, everything. I want to see them get him involved all over the place. I want to see him in the slot. I would like to see him maybe in some wildcat situations at the quarterback position. I want to see what he can do because this is a big game for Tommy Mellott. If he does not shine in these next 3 games, Seahawks, Niners next week, the Cardinals, he may find himself on the practice squad or he may find himself out of a job. So definitely watching Tommy Mellott very closely. And then, also Cam Miller, Aiden O'Connell. He's going to get some reps as well today. There's a battle out there, you guys. There's a real battle. Aiden, been hearing some great things about him. I've been hearing great things about Cam Miller also. There's going to be a real competition for that quarterback 2 spot. They like Cam Miller. Tom Brady had his hands in the pot per se, bringing him in the 6th round. This is going to be a fun battle to watch today. I want to see Cam Miller. He's the more athletic quarterback. Aiden, more the pocket passer, traditional kind of statue in the pocket, right? I want to see what these guys look like out there at the quarterback position. Like I said before, I don't want to see too much Geno. This is more about the battle between Aiden and Cam Miller. Give those guys the majority of these reps today, and let's have some fun, and let's see what we have at the quarterback 2 spot. So, and then also, once again, this goes without saying, you guys, I don't want to see too much Genty. He's going to be the guy for us, that workhorse running back for the next, hopefully, 10 plus years, but I want to see Dylan Laube. I want to see him get a ton of reps. I want to see Sincere McCormick. We'll probably see some Zamir out there as well. The running back position is going to be fun to keep an eye on today because Zamir slimmed down, hearing really good things, especially with the first unofficial depth chart. They have him or Raheem Mostert at the number 2 running back spot. So want to see some Zamir, definitely want to see some Sincere, and I want to see my guy Dylan go out there because he needs to have a big preseason in order to make this roster. He does. That running back group is nice. I think he's going to find his bread and butter there at the special teams position, whether it's returning punts or kicks, whatever it is. The first unofficial depth chart has Trey Tucker number 1 at both spots. So it's going to be interesting to see if Dylan can go out there and carve him a role on this roster to potentially make the 53-man roster. So this is going to be a fun game. Once again, you guys, I'm not expecting to go out there and see too many looks. Chip's not going to put too much on film. Pat Patrick Graham and Pete are not going to put too much on full display on the defensive side of the ball. This is going to be probably a very vanilla preseason game. So let's not get ahead of ourselves, you guys, if everything isn't going how we want it to go. Because every single year, people say, this isn't the dynamic offense that everybody was talking about at training camp. This isn't the dynamic defense that everybody was talking about at training camp. Vanilla, vanilla, vanilla. Okay? So let's not expect too much today. I just want to see some of these young guys go out there and get some reps, get their feet wet, and see what they can do with some reps. Because once again, Dylan, 1 rep last season, right? In the regular season. I want to see him get his feet wet. I want to see a lot of these other guys, Trey Taylor, who didn't play a snap at the safety position last year because of the knee injury. I want to see him get a ton of reps. So I'm excited, man. I really am hyped. And I've seen a lot of people mentioning the Santana Moss situation in the chat. I was going to wait on that. But once again, I'm not here to say that Trey Tucker is Santana Moss, you guys. Our quarterback said that. And I'm not saying that he said he is him, but he sees a lot of Santana Moss in Trey Tucker. This is a guy that played in the NFL for a long time. Santana Moss, you guys, from 2001 to 2014, 14 seasons at the NFL level. Had a Pro Bowl year in 2005 in Washington. This is a guy that, didn't really get a lot of production early on in year 1. He only played in 5 games, and then he started to slowly go up. But in year 2, he had 433 yards. In year 3 with the Jets, he had 1,100 receiving yards. And if you look at Trey Tucker's stats, right, his rookie season, 331, more than Santana Moss. He had 539 last season with limited reps, more than Santana Moss had in his rookie season. So technically, or in his second season. So technically, Trey Tucker, production-wise, is already ahead of the curve with Santana Moss. I'm not here to say Tucker is going to be that, but once again, you just look at the stats. The stats don't lie. I think Geno was on to something. And Santana Moss, once again, Florida guy from Miami, Geno from Miami. He knows Santana Moss very well. He's been sending Trey Tucker a bunch of Santana Moss film to check out. He says it. One is 5'10", one is 5'9". Not too far off. One is 193 pounds, which is Santana Moss. Trey Tucker, 185. There's a lot of similarities here, you guys. And once again, I know you hear the name Santana Moss, and you instantly think all-pro. No, Santana Moss was never an all-pro player, you guys. He has 1 Pro Bowl season under his belt. So this is not a far-fetched thing. I know a lot of people, once including myself, you think Santana Moss, you think, man, he had a phenomenal career, and he really had a really good career. But he has 4 seasons over 1,000 yards receiving. 2005, he had almost 1,500, which is crazy with 9 touchdowns to go with that. But this is not a far-fetched situation that Trey Tucker can't carve out a Santana Moss-esque career. It's not, because once again, Trey has already had a better career the first 2 years than Santana Moss. And now he has a guy who complements his skill set in Geno Smith that can throw the deep ball. So I think that Geno is on to something here. I see a lot of people, he's not Santana Moss. Not saying he is, but once again, when you look at the stats, Geno may be on to something. Salute to S. Dot. Salute Graphk. Isn't it interesting how the new regime realized now that they screwed up at the guard, and now they want to swap a top center into a guard just to cover the long learning curve of Rodgers? Salute to S. Dot. This would not be an OLV Raiders Network show without S. Dot talking about the trenches on the offensive side of the ball. Look, man, S. Dot, I'm still kind of holding out hope that they're just trying to see what's out there. A lot of players playing in different positions. Once again, Caleb Rogers getting some reps at the center position. Charles Grant getting some reps at the right tackle position. They're just kind of seeing what they have at this point. I'm still not sold that Jordan Meredith is going to be the starting center come week 1. I still believe it's going to be JPJ. Maybe I'm delusional, right? But, they like Meredith. They may think he's undersized. They may think that, that JPJ is a stronger, pulling guard rather than center. Cool. I see all your arguments. I see all you guys' comments in the comment section. Great. Cool. All I'm saying is, man, JPJ to me is an all-pro center, but only time will tell. And it's going to be interesting to see if JPJ gets some reps at both the guard and center spot. If it's a competition that they want to see, let's see these guys go out there and get some live bullets. I think if you put JPJ out there and Jordan Meredith out there today, both of them at the center spot, they're going to see who is better at the center position. And I think that that's JPJ. And that's no knock to Jordan Meredith because I like that kid a lot. And I hope that he can carve out a role and potentially be a starter, whether that's at the guard or center position. Once again, I just want to see the best 5 guys out there. And if that's Jordan Meredith at the center position, cool. I'm just personally still not sold on that yet. I think that JPJ is the better center option. So it is what it is. My brother S. Dot on another $5. When they should have gotten Jackson Slater, oh my God, S. Dot, you know I was really high on my Sac State guy, man, who was strong enough to start, but hey, let's patch it up. Go Raiders, man. Well, look, S. Dot, you know, I know that you are heavily invested in that O-line, right? Because you always speak about it. And you know what I thought about Jackson Slater, the young guard out of Sac State. And he's going to be a stud at the next level. He went to Tennessee, I believe, right, S. Dot? And I think that he's already has one of the highest Madden ratings on that team. So he's going to be a star. I'm calling it now, man. Jackson Slater is going to be a Pro Bowler at some point. He's going to end up being one of the best offensive linemen that Cam has out there in Tennessee, and he's going to be a stud for years to come. Salute to my guy, Heat Check, on the $5 smack. Rooney. And salute to CGR, my brothers in the building. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. What up, Graphk? Happy game day. How much time do you think the starters play tonight? I think if anything, Heat Check a series. 2 tops. 2 tops. That's it. This is a very pivotal season for us, Heat Check. I know Pete Carroll wants to make a statement in year 1. He only has a few years left. He's 73 years old, 3-year deal, 4th-year team option, I believe. They want to go out there and they want to roll out the starters. Once again, right, Pete Carroll's in Seattle. So I think it means a lot, regardless if it's a preseason game or not, for Pete to go out there and, you know, they're going to have some type of celebration for him for his return. But I guarantee you he wants to beat that team. But I'll say this. We need to stay healthy. We've seen Lonnie Johnson, you know, the other day with a terrible, terrible leg injury. He's going to miss a ton of football this season. Learn from it. Heat Check, learn from it. Don't go out there and throw these guys out there into the fire, your starters. I mean, and potentially something bad happen to a player that is a cornerstone guy on this roster. You just can't afford it. You can't afford to lose Geno. You can't afford to lose a JPJ or a Colton Miller. You can't afford to lose a Malcolm Kuntz or a Max Crosby trying to go out there and make a statement in preseason, regardless if it's a homecoming of sorts or not. So I'll say a series, 2 series tops, and that's it, Heat Check. Salute to my guy, man. Terry says, I got to say, I'm looking forward to seeing some of our linebackers play today. Me too. And I spoke about that earlier on in the show, Terry. I'm excited to see Jalen Smith. I'm a Notre Dame guy, right? Because once again, he missed the entire season last year. He took the season off. I think that he already has he's a long shot to make this roster anyways. But I want to see if he has anything left in the tank. And then also the young guys, the Lindenberg, the Eichenberg, the Amari Ferraris. Those are the guys I'm keeping an eye on. It's going to be fun to watch that second level of that defense because Amari needs a big preseason and training camp to find a role on this roster. Eichenberg as well, and Lindenberg, the 7th rounder out of Minnesota. So, you know, we have a very deep linebacking core right now. They like Jermaine Pratt. They like Devin White. They love Landon Roberts. It's going to be very interesting to see if one of these guys or 2 of these guys can carve out a role or maybe potentially land on the practice squad. I think that Lindenberg will be on the practice squad. I think he's more of a developmental type talent. It'll take a little bit more time. Eichenberg, I think this is a sink or swim preseason for him, and I love Eichenberg out of Ohio State, and the same with Amari Gainer, man. So we'll see. Graphk, I'm looking forward to see what our rookies do against other pros. Facts, man. Facts, my brother. Facts. Facts plus tags. Especially our wide receivers. Rich, yes. Once again, I put it out there. I want to see Jack Besh. Definitely want to see him get a few series. Dante, I want to see a series or 2 tops. And then I'm looking forward to watching Bachman and Tommy Millett and those guys go out there and battle it out for those last wide receiver spots. Let me see. Jackson Slater at high school level already passed my guard test. 600 pounds and over on leg squats, max and bench reps of 225, 29 reps or more, a shoe in to start. That's not talk. That's offensive lineman shit, my brother. Salute to you, man. Salute to Terry. Keep up that great content. Graphk, keep cooking, brother, like you always do. I appreciate you, my brother. Once again, this isn't going to be a long live, you guys. Just wanted to come on and kind of give you some my opinion on some of the things that's going on in Raider Nation. I took a day off yesterday because I've been working around the clock on some other things. I wanted to ask you guys this too. So my boy hit me up yesterday, and you guys know him as Pocket Rocket, right? You guys know him as Spook, you know, Jalen Richard. He hit me up yesterday and he said, I'm ready to get to work. And I'm going to meet up with him next week in Vegas for all the alumni festivities. I'll be out there for the Niners game. Salute to my guy, Jalen Richard. He just moved to Las Vegas, so just relocated out there. I want you guys' opinion on this. Would you guys like a weekly show, a Graphk and Spook show? In the comment section, let me know. Let me know. For those who haven't got a chance to check out Spook on the channel, he's been over here before. We've done it. We've done a show before, and we've been working behind the scenes to put some things together. So if you guys want to see a weekly Graphk and Spook show, let me know. He's just starting a new YouTube channel. We're going to promote it like crazy and get rolling. He's ready to start streaming. So I'm excited to get my guy in the mix with Raider Nation. He's excited. He hit me up. He is ready to roll, man. So I'm thinking about doing something like a weekly Graphk and Spook show where we do like the running back report. And we ask, you know, Spook about what he thought about Genty's game, what he thought about Raheem Mostert, the running back report, weekly Graphk and Spook show. Let me know in the comment section. We're meeting up next week. We're going to talk about the particulars, put some ideas together. I think that would be a really, really dope show for Raider Nation, man. So I think that'd be dope. LV says, come on now, run it. Okay. Taino says, yam. All right, bet. I'm going to let my guy know what you guys are talking about, and we're going to get it rolling. For sure. Let me see. Resident Strength Police. That's hilarious. Get those questions in, you guys. Salute to my guy, Mon Dizzy. That content. Salute to my guy. Aaron says, I have my eye on Chris Smith tonight. Love it. Once again, a guy that has actually come in and getting pretty much all the reps that Lonnie Johnson was getting before he went down with that injury. So I'm excited, man. That was another guy that we were really hyped about, Aaron, because once again, he was a captain on those national championship teams, one of the better defensive players on that stacked defensive roster in Georgia. And it just really hasn't panned out at the next level yet. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping that maybe he finds a way, you know, to make some noise this offseason and find himself onto this roster. We shall see. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely reach out to him and let him know. Once again, I'm sitting down with him next week in Vegas. So stay tuned. Salute to my guy Federer as well. Salute, Docs. Yes, definitely. I'll meet you out there, my brother. Meet me at the J-Lot. I'll be out there getting turned up to the max. Yeah, Javi, I do too, man. I do too. I'm excited. He's a good kid, good person, great football player. He just hasn't been afforded the opportunities up to this point. But I'm excited to see my guys. And yes, I may be partial to him, to Trey Taylor, to Dante, because they're guys that frequent the show. And, you know, I really respect them as human beings. I'm excited to see those three guys the most today, Trey, Dylan, and Dante. Facts. Let me see. Oh, that'd be dope. That'd be dope too. You can also talk about other teams. And, you know, maybe we'll go over just the running back position weekly as a whole. Go over who had the most yards, who had the most touchdowns, so on and so forth. So I like that. Yes, we will be live tonight, my brother Jose. Facts, brother. Yes, me and Hammer will be live 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Actually, we'll be starting about 10, 15 minutes prior to the game. So, yes. And for those who want to watch the game, it is on NFL Network. If you can't watch it on there, there are a few other bootleg websites that you can check out, Stream East and some of those other websites. I'll be watching it on, I believe, YouTube TV. So, but there's several different options to watch that game tonight, but it is NFLnetwork.com or NFL Network. Dan, I appreciate you, brother. That means a lot, man. Thank you. We're trying to have more. We're trying to bring different looks to the show. this year. We want to have Paul on a lot more to talk about, being an agent in the NFL and all that other good stuff. So we'll have Paul frequent the show a lot more. And once again, I want to get Spook a lot more involved because he's really going to start getting into streaming. So just stay tuned. Stay tuned. We're working on some things behind the scenes, and we're definitely going to provide some new form of content over here at OLV and Shieldmore as a whole. Talk that talk, S. Dot, my dog. Salute to CGR, my brother. Yes. This is not Dolphins colors, brother. This is actually green and orange. It's the Pro Bowl hat, bro. So once again, it's not the Dolphins color. It's definitely not. Mutation, and that is on the way as well. For those who are wondering what's going on with Wasted, he is out of town. He'll be in Atlanta for a little while. Salute to him and his beautiful family. His daughter is going off to school. So he'll be back soon. We were going to do a Graphk and Wasted or a Wasted and Graphk show either yesterday or something, but he had to get on the road. So he'll be back soon. So stay tuned for our brother Wasted. We'll definitely get back to our weekly shows for sure. All right, y'all. We got to talk about this because I was asked a lot about the whole AP situation, right? And T-Wave, I want to put this out there real quick. No, we left. We came together as a unit and we decided to go our own separate ways. So we were not let go, not gutted. Salute to what they got going on over there. Roundtable of good people, but we chose to go our own direction. This is the thing, T-Wave. I've never been an employee, bro. I've always been a boss. And I'm not, I like to move certain ways. And that's no knock to them. No knock to them at all. But I just like to be in control of my own destiny. It was a good one season to have some fun. I got a chance to meet some really good people. But every week it will be over here at OLV Raiders Network, the AFC West show. It'll be on Ben's channel and it'll also be on Darcy's channel. So once again, that had nothing to do with them letting us go. We sent a group text and said, hey, thank you guys for the opportunity, but we're going to go our own separate ways. And now we have our own show. So once again, man, entrepreneurial mindset, bro. I just like to do my own thing. You know what I mean? But let's get to it, man. I want to talk about this AP thing. I want your guys' opinion on this. And once again, I'm not going to harp on this situation. I don't want to talk about it for too long. Everybody knows that, the whole AP situation and, how we fired him and moved on from him. He was let go. Tom Telesco was let go. Right. Yesterday, a video went crazy viral. Who was it that uploaded it? I want to give him his credit. Harold, is it Harold Kuntz, I believe, over at Channel 3 News, I believe. Put a video out there on Twitter and Instagram. I shared it. Everybody else shared it. It's all over the place at this point. It went crazy viral. Once again, salute to Harold. He's walking at training camp at the Chiefs training camp. Okay. Let me share this real quick. I'll share the screen. I don't want to get demonetized, but I definitely want to show you guys this. And I'll play the video. I'll turn the sound off. But he's out there walking with Spags. Okay. A lot of people don't realize that this is his former defensive coordinator with the Giants. They won the Super Bowl together. He is definitely like a family member to AP. So I have no issue with, him out there working with Spags. None at all. I know this was a very bad divorce between the Raiders and AP. I was sent a ton of videos from fans that have seen him I think one was at the Roseville Galleria where he went up to him and screamed Raiders and AP was pissed off. There's a few other videos and other stuff that AP is just, upset, very upset with the way things went about his departure in Las Vegas. I get it. And rightfully so, man. Look, I was a major component of trying to get AP out of here. I thought we can get better at the coaching position, and it happened. Pete Carroll's the guy now. Way better than what we had with our former head coach. And that's no knock to him. But we have a proven guy with Pete Carroll in the building. Now, the issue I have with this is, right, because a lot of people are saying, hey, he has to have a job. He needs to get paid, and so on and so forth, right? And I respect that. Man. I know that he just got a job not too long ago as well with Athletes in Control, right? And Athletes in Control is called AIC, you guys. It was funded by a team of athletes, coaches, and business professionals who saw too many talented players overwhelmed by high-stakes decisions. They help athletes take control of their futures with insight, access, and structure. They surround athletes with the essential tools and guidance to lead their journey like a CEO. Every service is tailored, personal, and aligned with long-term growth. So he went and signed over there as the Chief Strategy Advisor. You love to see it, right? AP got a job. You know, he can definitely help the youth. He's been there and done that. I respect that. I see a lot of people saying, well, why wasn't there a lot of feedback with John Gruden? He was out there wearing Chief shit. He was out there with Andy, and, you know, he definitely has a relationship with Andy. Look, you guys, John Gruden never told you guys that he grew up a Raiders fan. John Gruden never said, I hate the color red. When you see red, it's this, and that. AP said he was born in Compton. Grew up a Raiders fan his entire life. I remember the David Carr story where it was something along the lines of it. Don't quote me on this. Basically, don't talk bad about my Raiders. He's a Raider fan, right? Look, work is work. I know that players don't have the same dedication and commitment to organizations like we do, okay? We are fans. My loyalty is to the Raiders. It's not to the players. It's to the Raiders. It is to the shield. This is what I grew up on. This is what it is, simple and plain. You will never see me out there wearing a Chiefs jersey, a Broncos jersey, a Chargers jersey. You will never see any of that, okay? That's just not who I am personally. And there's no dollar amount that would get me into a situation where I would do that. Simple and plain. There's not one. You can give me, I promise you, you can give me a blank check. I am not going out there and doing that. I love this team way too much. And Clay, I won't even bet like that. I don't even bet on my Raiders. Sometimes I have some fun and say, hey, I bet this player or have a big game, or I'm not betting on my team. I love this team too much. I just won't. Once again, it is what it is. This is petty, you guys. I don't care what anybody says. AP, more power to him, getting a job. Once again, Spags, the connection is there, right? But he's out there wearing, he's decked out in Chief shit. I don't care what anybody says. This isn't just a job situation. This is more than that. It's him being Petty Hardaway. Petty Murphy. This is petty. It is petty. Okay? Simple and plain. There's no loyalty right here. It is what it is. Once again, I'm not expecting AP to be me or to be some of you guys and just be completely loyal to the shield. But when you say you grew up a Raider and you out there screaming the Raiders and you smoking cigars and, the 6'4" pulling up to Allegiant Stadium and you say you grew up a Raider fan, what's wrong with just pulling up to Kansas City and wearing your regular shit? You don't have to. You think the Chiefs were forcing you to? No, the Chiefs, they found this situation to be hilarious. The Chiefs doing Chief shit. This is another merry-go-round type situation. The Chiefs playing mind games with our fan base in the Raiders organization. Simple and plain. They could have had AP out there with Spags just wearing whatever. It could have been a whole red outfit with no Chiefs logos. It is what it is. It is what it is. This is being petty from both sides. Simple and plain. Do I like to see AP out there working? Definitely. I respect it. I definitely, appreciate his time in the silver and black. And I definitely am rooting for him and his wife and their businesses or whatever they got going on moving forward. Simple and plain. But at the end of the day, you cannot say I'm a diehard Raider, this, and that. Now, if you went back to the Giants and you're wearing Giants shit, bro, you won a Super Bowl over there. I have no issue. This is the Chiefs, though. This is our prime rivals. This is the team that you spent so much time preaching to your players about see red, kill red. I remember watching him win that game in Kansas City and get very emotional. Because it meant a ton for him to go out there to Arrowhead and win that football game on Christmas Day. And I respected it. I loved it. Once again, you guys, I'm not going to harp on this too much, but I'm just giving you guys my opinion on this. This was petty by both sides. This is Kansas City and Spags and Andy and those guys doing what they do, playing mind games and knowing that they would get a reaction out of us. And this is also AP sticking it to the Raiders. Simple and plain. Good luck to AP moving forward. Good luck to everything that he has going on. And once again, I'll pray for him and his family. But, again, when you say you're this and you say you're that, you got to stand on this and you got to stand on that. It's just is what it is. So, hey, man, that's my take on this whole situation. Not going to harp on it. I got what I wanted out of this situation. AP is no longer the head coach. And once again, we got a proven commodity with Pete Carroll in the building. So I'm excited. Salute to my brother Demon King in the building as well. My dog, one of the mob fathers here. Salute to the almost 900 people in the building. You guys wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, what are y'all waiting on? Hit that subscribe button. Salute to June. When I was young, I realized there's no loyalty in sports when Jerry Rice put on the silver and black. Salute to Jerry. And that was a real battle, right? Battle of the Bay, but also it was an easy transition, Junior, for Jerry Rice, right? Cross the bridge. Actually didn't even have to move. Stuck around in the Bay Area. Some situations are a little bit different, right? You look at it and you're like, yeah, man, the Raiders and the Niners have this, long-standing rivalry, but I don't want to uproot my family. And the Raiders want me, and I think that I can be a piece that can add to that puzzle, and we could potentially win something, which we did go to a Super Bowl. We didn't win it, but, Jerry did what Jerry needed to do for his family, right? And AP's doing the same thing. Cool. But Jerry never said he was a Niners fan growing up. Jerry never said he was a Raiders fan growing up. Jerry is just the greatest wide receiver of all time, is what it is. There's definitely, look, us fans look at things differently than players. We look at things differently than general managers. We look at things differently than head coaches. Yes, there really is no loyalty in sports. If right now, we had a player on his team, I'm not going to say any specific names. He's a free agent next year in Kansas City, the Denver Broncos, or the Los Angeles Chargers offer him a major deal. They're going to go there. We just watched Andre James, one of the last Oakland Raiders, go to a rival with the Chargers. Now, there may be more moving, pieces to that, right? He's a California guy. He played his collegiate level in UCLA, so he's familiar with Southern California. So, hey, it makes sense. But once again, there really isn't any loyalty in this shit. That's why we can't expect everybody to conduct themselves like we do as fans. But once again, AP said that he was one of us. This is why we're having this conversation. And yes, once again, Gruden did the same, but Gruden never said that he was a Raiders fan growing up. Ever. Gruden beat us in the Super Bowl and came back to the Raiders as our head coach, and nobody blinked an eye at that. Because guess what? Gruden never stated that he was a Raiders fan growing up. I love this, Roy. It's a business, not a cult. This is facts. But once again, fandom is low-key a cult, right? We are a cult in Raider Nation. We love this team wholeheartedly. So once again, we have to, as fans, separate the business. I understand the business side of things, you guys. I do. I mean, I have friends that are in the league. I have guys that I love, that I call my brothers, that are retired from football, retired from basketball, baseball. I know guys in every sport. I understand it. My uncle played baseball at the highest level, the Dodgers, the White Sox, the A's, the Yankees. I get it. I understand it. There's no loyalty in this thing. But once again, when you say you're a fan and then you go out here, when did AP get let go, you guys? In January? So what, 7 months later, you're in Kansas City at their camp, decked out in chief shit? You don't think that this is just more than a paycheck? Y'all crazy as shit. If y'all really believe that, man, I can't even. There's nothing else to talk about. There's nothing else to talk about. Dan, come on, man. Salute to my guy. Alex, man, I'm here with you, brother. Let me see. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. Salute the Raider hater. Let's be honest, Raider fans. If we beat Kansas City and he's on Kansas City, come on, we're going to laugh at AP. Well, look, this is the thing. And I echo the same sentiment as a lot of guys. Like, hey, hire AP. Bring him on. Hey, let him be Andy Reid's successor. That'd be great. Sweep the Chiefs every year. I'm cool with that. Let's do it. So, but hey, man, we're over the whole AP situation. Just wanted to talk about it for a little bit. Salute to the Mokes, my guy. AOC MVP incoming, baby. Hey, we'll see, DeMokes. We'll see. We'll see if Cam Miller can dog walk him tonight in Seattle. Mr. Patrick, my guy, man, I appreciate you, man, for reminding me that we had another segment on the show. Sometimes we get lost in the sauce over here at OLV Raiders Network. But the other day, you guys, we did bring in a player, former first-round guy, a guy that has been in the league for a while, Terrell Edmonds, former first-round pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers back in 2018. This is a guy that has been in the league once again since 2018. As of late, has not played a ton of football, you guys. Like, I'm going to be honest. Last year, played in 5 games, started in 0, had 7 combined tackles. The year prior, and he played with 2 teams, I believe, last year. Was it 2? I believe it was Pittsburgh and Jacksonville. So a little bit of practice squad between both teams. And then back in 2023 is when he played 9 games, started in 1 for Tennessee. But he's kind of bounced around the league a little bit. Played in Pittsburgh for the first 5-6 years of his career, then went off to Philadelphia for a season. It really has not worked out yet. And to be honest, he's a little up there. What is he, 28 years old right now? The 6'1", 217-pounder came in for a workout in Las Vegas. He did leave without a deal. But once again, you guys, this lets me know that the Raiders are still doing their due diligence on the safety position with Lonnie Johnson potentially missing a ton of football this year. I know Pete kind of stated that, 5 to 7 weeks or something along those lines. Don't quote me on what he exactly said. It sounds like they expect Lonnie Johnson back quicker than a lot of us see. I know he already had his surgery, so we'll see, when he returns. But we're looking outside the building. We brought in Terrell Edmonds. Once again, a guy that hasn't played a ton in recent memory. So, but he did leave without a deal, but it looks as though the Raiders are still potentially looking at adding another body out there at the safety position. So stay tuned, you guys. We shall see. In his greatest season, I think that his best season was back in maybe 2021. Started in all 17 games, played in all 17 games, has 6 passes defensed, 1 sack, 89 total tackles. You know what? Back in 2019, he had 105 combined tackles. He had 3 passes defense, but just once again, he hasn't been a guy that you expected to be coming out of the first round in Terrell Edmonds. So, but once again, it looks as though the Raiders are doing their due diligence here, and we may add another body there at the safety spot. And Hug, you know what I'm doing right now, bro? I'm gonna look a little nasty here for the next week or so. I'm not trying to get my beard cut until the day before I go to Vegas. So next Wednesday, I'm getting cut. So you're gonna have to deal with the craziness of this bird nest on my face right now, man. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. So, But once again, you guys, Raiders did bring in Terrell Edmonds for a workout. He did leave without a deal. It's going to be interesting to see if they double back and bring him back in. But maybe they want to see what we have tonight at the safety position with Chris Smith, Trey Taylor and Harper and those guys. So, Raider Reaper, hey brother, hey, I'm only repeating with what our quarterback Geno Smith said, the 2-time Pro Bowler, former most improved player under Pete Carroll. That's all I'm saying is I'm repeating what our guy Geno Smith said. I never said that Tucker was going to be the next Santana Moss. Our guy said that. But once again, Reap, when you go look at the stats, the first 2 seasons, Trey Tucker has outperformed Santana Moss. So I'm just throwing it out there. Now, it's not Randy Moss. Maybe, are you thinking that? Because those are 2 separate players. Separate size, separate everything. We're talking about Santana Moss, a guy that has only been to 1 Pro Bowl, that went to 1 Pro Bowl in his long 12, 13 season career. So I'm only echoing the sentiment of what our quarterback once said. In judo, yes, Santana Moss was really good, but once again, only 1 Pro Bowl. But he did have 4 seasons with over 1,000 yards receiving. Back in 2003 was the first year where he really broke out, had 1,100 yards to go with 10 touchdowns with the Jets. Then in 2005, the Pro Bowl year, he almost had 1,500 yards receiving, 9 touchdowns, and then 2008 and 2010, he had over 1,000 yards, both with the Washington Redskins at the time. So If we can get anything close to that production with Trey Tucker, then hey, man, great. But once again, I'm not here to say that he's going to be the next Santana Moss. But when you look at the size, the speed, you know, one's 5'9", 1.5 was 1.510. One is in like the 180. What was Santana Moss? I said it earlier on the show. He was like 193. Trey Tucker's 185. But there is a lot of similarities in their game. So, is what it is. That's an almost perfect comp. Facts, man. Facts. I like it. Zach, it will be back Tuesday. We'll be doing our show Tuesday night. Me, Darcy, and Ben will be back Tuesday night. So stay tuned. We're going to still be doing it the same time, same day. You know, there's nothing wrong with a little competition, right? Let's have some fun. Nothing wrong with a little competition. Same time, same day. We'll be ripping and running. Let me see. Ever since his LASIK surgery, Tucker has been a better wide receiver. Can actually see now. Talk that talk, Rich. Mondo, and we got about 4 more hours of it tonight. So stay tuned. Me and Hammer will be live for the entire game tonight. Talked about the Tucker Santana Moss situation. A few of you guys were disgusted with the comparison that Geno Smith made, but it is what it is. Talked about the Raiders bringing in Terrell Edmonds, former first-round pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers, in for a workout. He did leave without a deal, you guys, but once again, it's still very early. Maybe we can double back. You know, he hasn't played a ton recently. It really has been a first-round bust. Let's just keep it a buck here. But, you know, maybe Pete can bring out the best of them. Look, we got Jamal Adams. We got Devin White. We got guys that are looking to revitalize their career this year with the Raiders. Maybe he can do the same with Terrell Edmonds. Only time will tell. We talked about that. We talked about the AP situation. We also talked about some things to keep an eye on, some preseason battles out there today. And we'll go over that a little bit more on the way out. Salute to Gio. We got Raider effing football tonight. And I'm hyped, bro. I'm hyped. I don't think you realize how excited I was when I woke up this morning. I said, you know what? We're doing 2 shows today. We're going to do a pre-show, and then we're going to do the show that's actually the show. So I'm hyped. Hugs is so pumped, the actual ball, and Pete plays the ones in preseason. I don't want to see, once again, anything more than 2 series tops. That's it. Is people saying that Rashawn Slater was carted off? He was carted off? Damn. Got a big deal, and the Chargers doing Chargers shit. You never want to see anybody get injured. But, man, if that's true, that's a major blow to that offensive line. Herbert may die this year. A miserable death. That is big. I'm going to look that up. You know what? I'm going to go on Twitter real quick. Graphk, where do you rank Geno as far as quarterbacks? Top 10, top 15. Top 10 to 15. Top 10 to 15. Sometimes he can look like a top 10. Sometimes he can look like a top 15. I got somewhere in that 12, 13 range. But I think that this year he'll be even better than that. But right now, I'm looking at him as like that 12, 13 range. And honestly, with the great ground game and hopefully the defense coming up with some turnovers this year, that's all you really need from him. You don't need a top 5 quarterback to win the Super Bowl or a top 5 quarterback to get into the playoffs and win a game or 2. So I'm excited to just see him be who he is. I mean, once again, he had 4,300 yards passing last year with one of the worst offensive lines and worst run games in football. So, okay, here it goes. Lewis, Chargers, Rashawn Slater, who signed a 4-year, $113 million extension last month, was carted off the practice field today with apparent left leg injury, possible torn ACL. Holy fuck. Wow. Crazy. Where'd that come from, DeMarcus? Do you know? I'm going to go look at Twitter real fast. I want to see. Did Ian Rappaport tweet that out? Shefty, who put it out there? Let me see. Ian. Let's go to Ian Rappaport. Card is out. Appears to be a left leg issue. He's being carted inside. Teammates all coming up to hug him. This is coming from Daniel Popper. I believe he covers the Chargers. Ian Rappaport put a potentially serious issue for the Chargers and Rashawn Slater. Holy shit. Wow. Well, you know, it's the NFL is not back until the Chargers start having players going down. Nose ring, y'all. No booger, nose ring. No booger. You know, it's not, you know, football ain't back until Chargers, players just start dropping like albums and shit. Crazy. Hey, he got his deal. At least he got his deal. Gio, I couldn't have put it any better than that. Hate that for Slater. Love that for us. Yeah, we got him week 2. Monday Night Football in Vegas. So let's just say, even if he was carted off, it's not as bad as, it originally sounded or looked. It don't look like it or sound like Slater going to be out there come week 2. Hyper, yeah, man. Chargers are definitely cursed, bro. Definitely. You pay him all that money, man, and he goes out there and gets hurt. That's crazy. That is crazy, man. Joseph, I agree with you, brother. And look, I'm not somebody that laughs about people getting injured and shit like that. I know my brother Wasted likes to say, go out there and slam Patrick Mahomes on his neck like the jabroni he is, and players get injured. I don't want to see that. I always want to beat teams at their best. You know what I mean? I like Rashawn Slater. I watched him very closely coming out of college. I hated that he went to the Chargers, but you just hate to see this for him, man. He's young, just got a beautiful deal. I believe he's coming off of a recent divorce. So there's a lot going on already in his world. So it just sucks to see a young kid like that deal with something like this. That sucks, man. Yeah, Gio, facts, man. Please, Lord, protect Max Crosby, protect Genty, protect Geno, protect all these guys, man. Let me see. But we talked about that. And once again, it's coming from Daniel Popper on on Twitter, you guys. The card is out. Appears to be a big left leg issue, being carted inside. Teammates are all coming up to hug him. So it sounds pretty bad. That sucks, man. That sucks. Nasty. I do not. It's nose rings. It's nose rings. If you're not new to the channel, you'll understand. Nose ring, no booger. Nose ring, no booger. Marco, Hail Mary full of grace. Pray for the Raiders team and staff. Talk that talk, my brother. Tamar says, is this the most exciting preseason game ever for us? I say yes. Yeah, because the energy is different, right? We say this every year, but the energy is actually different this year. You bring in Pete Carroll, a proven coach that is returning to his old stomping grounds in Seattle, where he won a Super Bowl and almost won 2. One beast mode carry away from 2 Super Bowls. Definitely. We have at least, at worst, a very serviceable quarterback in Geno Smith. Definitely, man. We went out and had a great draft class. Once again, nose ring. No bugger. Genty and Dante Thornton and Besh and all these guys. It's going to be fun, man. Definitely, probably one of the most exciting preseason games that I've been ready for. But we're every year we're excited about this. Every year. But you know what, though, tomorrow I'm going to say mine is next week, because I'll be in Vegas. Raiders, Niners, to me, being from Northern California, I just love, the Bay Area rivalry, the Battle of the Bay. I think next week to me is going to be the funnest, regardless if starters start or not. I'm just excited. I like when it comes to football, I think a lot of us nerd out. Like, it doesn't have to be starters for me to be excited about football. I watched the Hall of Fame game and was hyped up, and I hate the Chargers. You know what I'm saying? But it's football. Football's back. I'm just excited to watch some football. There's 2 other games today before the Raiders play as well. So I'm bought in. I'm just hyped. I'm excited, man. I'm ready to get my football nerd on today and watch some of these young guys very close and see if they can potentially crack this 53-man roster. Xavier, JPJ was said to have struggled with calls at center. I don't know about that. I know that some people were saying that Kappa was calling out the plays at the guard spot out there, but I'm not going to jump the gun here, X, and say that JPJ was struggling with anything. It sounds like even before camp, they went up to Jordan Meredith and asked him if he would be interested in playing center. So this may have been the plan the entire time. You can go back and check out the Jordan Meredith interview where he stated, you know, they came up to me pretty early on in the offseason and mentioned it. So I don't think that JPJ was struggling to call the O at all, or, you know, to call the plays out at the line of scrimmage at all. I mean, if he didn't last year, why would he do it this year? I mean, I know it's a different system. I know Chip Kelly's offense is completely different than Luke Getsy's, but I'm not buying into that. This is a guy that is a Remington winner, one of the best center position in football. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, let's not – no. Kappa, a guy that is very familiar with Spy Tech and familiar with Tom Brady and a veteran, has been in the league for a long time. It makes sense why he may be out there, you know, we need to do this, we need to do that, so on and so forth. But I'm not buying that, X. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that at all. Paper Chase, you know what? I don't agree with that, brother. I don't think that they're biased towards Meredith for reasons unknown at all. I just don't think that they really have any connection to either one of these guys. They don't have a connection to Jordan Meredith. They don't have a connection to JPJ. These are all new guys in the building that are trying to see what they have. Meredith is a good football player. I think JPJ is a great football player. I think that some people just look at players differently. Last year, it was, you know, these guys looked at JPJ as a guard. They had Andre James start at the center position. Maybe these guys just have this still see the same vision. So I don't think that there's any biasness towards anybody, Paper Chase. If anybody on this roster, there's some biasness for, there's only two players on this roster, and it is Jamal Adams and it is Geno Smith, because both those guys have previously played under Pete Carroll. Simple and plain. Now, if you want to add some of the rookies in because these guys drafted them, you know, the Porters of the world and the Genties of the world, you could throw those names in the hat as well. But I don't think that there's any biasness towards any of these guys, because once again, they're just trying to see what they have with all these dudes. There's no prior connection, you know? So, and that's that. You can say Max, right? Because you definitely want to take care of your superstars for sure. They know that Max is the heartbeat of this football team in that locker room. So it makes sense. Okay, but what's the reason for looking at Meredith? This is in depth at a position that he's never played. Like you said, JPJ has been that guy at center since when. But look, this is the thing, Paper Chase, right? I agree with you with that. But once again, everybody looks at football differently. Everybody evaluates football differently. And at this point, I have to take my biasness for JPJ at the center position out of the equation and say, who knows this game better than me? Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, Joe Philbin, Brennan Carroll, all these guys. They do. They have the experience. I don't. So I can only sit back and let this thing play out. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not a I told you so type of guy. But if Jordan Meredith goes out there and struggles at the center position and they put JPJ back over there and he balls out, I told you so. I told you so. I'm doing it. I don't give a shit. It is what it is. So Sean, you're way too invested with my nose, bro. It's kind of worrisome, Sean. I think you need to kind of pump the brakes a little bit, brother, and get away from the fact that I have a nose. You have one as well. Go look at yourself in the mirror and go pick your shit if you want. Stop over analyzing my nose, brother. We all have boogers. I, for one, don't have one right now, okay? If you want to see a booger, go in the bathroom, stick one of your index finger or one of them shits up your nose and pull one out, bro. Okay? What the fuck are we doing here, man? We gonna make this show about this? What are we doing here, man? I'm starting to get a little nervous. Like this is weird. Like, what are we doing, man? One more booger take from you, bro, and you out of here, bro. I got to flamethrow you, bro. One more booger joke from you, and you are going to be in the outer realms somewhere. Disgusting work from our guy, Sean. It's nasty. It's nasty. It's disgusting. And you know what, S. Dot, you said this, right? You said this for a while, and we'll see. We'll see where this thing, ends up. But you've said it. You've said it a ton that, the guard spots got you worried. So maybe this is them saying, hey, man, we're worried about, what we have there. Let's just put JPJ there and put Jordan Meredith at the center spot and see if we can get the best out of these guys at the guard positions. I like that question, Cloud. Raph, who are you expecting to ball out the most in tonight's game? My bet is on Dante Thornton. I hope that Dante doesn't play a ton because I think he's going to be a starter, and I think most of you guys think he's going to be a starter come week one. I don't want him to go out there and play too much. So would I love to see him ball out in a series or two? Definitely. But a few players that I'm watching very closely today, because I think that they're going to get more reps than Dante, is Tommy Millott and Jack Besh. Even, we mentioned Alex Bachman as well. But if I'm a betting man and I'm looking, I think Besh is going to get a ton of reps today. So let's put some players out there that we think may ball out early on. I think it's going to be Jack Besh. I think he's going to be a stud for us, and I think he'll probably play a half or even more. Dylan, I want to see Dylan and Sincere get some reps. It's going to be fun to watch those two guys at the running back position because, once again, they're both fighting for a roster spot. Defensively, we talked about at the beginning of the show. I want to see what Tonka Hemingway can do. I want to see what he can do. I want to see what he can do as an edge rusher. He'll be out there getting a ton of reps. Hopefully Booker's out there. We'll see. Only time will tell. I want to see what Greedy Vance. I want to see what all the hype is about the young UDFA out of USC. I want to see what he can do with DCAM. I hope DCAM and Greedy Vance get a ton of reps today. I hope they get a ton of reps. I hope that DCAM and Greedy Vance are out there damn near the majority of the game. I want to see what those guys can do. And I love that AJ brought my guy up, Ja Joyner. Pause for the way you spelled it because that's not how the way you do it. It's J-A-H. You nasty work. Nasty work, AJ. I see where your mind is at. You're disgusting. You're a terrible human being. But Ja Joyner, the young UDFA out of Minnesota, I'm definitely hyped and excited to see what he can do. And then once again, man, my guy Trey Taylor. I want to see what he can do at the safety position, man. Coming off that nasty knee injury, he didn't get one snap at the safety spot last year. He played some special teams reps, but I want to see what he can do out there. He was a ball hawk at Air Force. He was a versatile weapon for Air Force. Played in the slot, played both safety spots. I want to see him tonight ball out. I like that too. Coming from Tyree Wilson fan. There's no biasness here at all, right? Tyree Wilson is going to dominate. Let's go. Omni, you ain't shit. I heard Christian Wilkers really wanted to play center. Oh, man. Get a few more questions in, you guys, before we get the hell out of here. Hey, they have high hopes for both of them, Jamal Adams and Devin White. They're both fighting for something. Like, what I'm saying? Like they're fighting to not only preserve their reputations around the league, because Jamal Adams was once such, he was in rarefied air for a minute. Devin White as well. Not as much as Jamal Adams, but they're both, former Pro Bowl guys. I think Jamal Adams was like a all-pro Pro Bowl guy the first 3 seasons, I believe, in the NFL. Devin had a great year out there in Tampa Bay. Don't quote me. I'm drawing a blank here a little bit, but those guys have had success at the NFL level. So they want to go out there and remind people who they are and show people that they still got it. So I'm excited. Let me see. I believe silver and black. You know what? Let's have some fun. I want to say Tonka Hemingway, but I'm not. Ja Joyner. I think Ja Joyner, not Jaw Joyner, not J-A-W, J-A-H. Ja Joyner with the first say. But why not? Let's it could come from the interior of the defensive line, right? Potentially. Let's see if JJ can get one. Let's see if Pegues can get one. That'd be fun. But I'm going to go with Ja Joyner because I got high hopes for him. Watching his tape at Minnesota, I was really hyped about bringing him in as a UDFA. So, Sean's thoughts. I'm also looking at AOC. Been a big fan of his, and now want to see if he can keep that poise with good blocking. Talk that talk, my brother. He's in great shape. Been hearing that he's been, having some really nice plays there at training camp. Everybody's been praising the way Aiden O'Connell's went about his business this offseason. But, Cam Miller's a guy, Sir Dre, too, that I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what he can do. They got high hopes for him. I'm not the biggest Cam Miller fan. Once again, you guys, I told you, I watched his tape a ton. I got a chance to cover him at the Shrine Bowl. I personally just didn't see the big deal, and I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I'm hoping that Cam Miller and company shut me up. I am. Yeah, DeMarcus, facts. Nothing like seeing the kid, man, that's playing for his hometown team get a chance to potentially start for him and go out there and actually make some real noise. That's so dope. The kid's born in Vegas, raised in Vegas. It's really dope to see him get a chance, an opportunity to play for his home team, especially become a potential starter. With Christian Wilkins, his situation panning out the way it did. Not going to lie, I want to see the animated Pete. Are you going to see it? You're going to see the gum chewing. You're going to see him out there, bro. He's in Seattle. He is in Seattle. He's going to be out there having some fun. You said Ja Joyner from the islands. Is he from Jamaica, Dan? I really think Cam Miller will shine, mostly because he was behind a great offensive line in college. Now our line is low-key mediocre, and we will see what he does now. Okay. We'll see. We'll see him tonight for sure. We're going to see him tonight in action. And I'm expecting to see a ton of Cam Miller next week against the Niners at Allegiant Stadium for sure. Let me see. But yeah, man, other than that, you guys get a few more questions in if you want before we get out of here. Salute to my guy Gio on a $5 smackaroonie. I work from home, and these shows and this chat always make my day, man. Best show / chat in YouTube. Salute to y'all. So hyped for Raider football. It's back. Salute to Gio. Thank you on the kind words, my brother, and I appreciate everything that you bring to the channel as well. Thank you, man, for allowing us to provide some entertainment for you, my brother. Gio, salute to you. Salute. CGR says, great show, man. It's always great to see you here as well, CGR. 12. I mean, if they do the starters, Geno's the starting quarterback. So maybe we see a series with him or two. Maybe Pete's just not showing his cards. Maybe he's just saying the starters are going to go out there and start, and then they don't. But I'll say this. If Geno doesn't start originally, it's going to be Aiden. I think that they want to see what Aiden looks like first. Because I don't know what Seattle's plan is, you guys. Are they going to play their starters on the defensive side of the ball? Are they going to play their starters on the offensive side of the ball? I'm hearing that Jalen Milroe is looking really good and at times looking better than Sam Darnold. So is there a battle there between those guys? I don't know, but I'll say this. Maybe they want to see what Aiden looks like against, the 1s and 2s before they go to Cam Miller, because Aiden is already accustomed to the speed of the NFL, and knows what it takes to get it done at the next level. So, Demon King, you stupid, bro. Raiders guy. Geno throws a bomb to number 11 for a TD. I'm calling it. Let's go. I love it. Tubby says, that's true. Been watching you since you started this channel, Graphk. It's nice to see you keep growing, and I'm excited to see our corners tonight, no matter who plays. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. I was wishing, Tub, that we still had a Mello Dotson. He went to Carolina. This was the time that I wanted to see him shine out there. I wanted to see him get an opportunity to go out there and play with some of these guys in Seattle, but he's no longer a Raider, which sucks. So yeah, Mike, it sucks, man. You never want to see great players like that, go down the way he just did. That's nasty work, man. Sucks, bro. Big John, I definitely agree with you. I want to see a lot of Amari Gainer for sure. But other than that, y'all, love you guys. I'll see you tonight. We will be going live probably around 9:45 Eastern, 6:45 Pacific. We're going to go on about 15 minutes before the game, so stay tuned for that. But other than that, man, I just wanted to come through and talk a little bit. Got about an hour and 10 minutes in. I hope to see you guys tonight. I want this chat to be lit. We should have at least a couple thousand people here rocking with me and Hammer, and we're going to call this every step of the way. Every play of this game, we're going to be here to call it. So you don't want to miss out that dynamic duo of me and Hammer. Make sure you guys pull up. Love, appreciate every single one of you guys. On the way out, wipe them feet. Hit those thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, what are y'all waiting on? Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And thank God I caught Hug's dub on the way out, because I would have hated to exit without that. Salute to my brother Hug. Graphk, here's $20 to get the bird's nest trimmed up. Looking real. Hey, you got me on a 40 at the liquor. I hate you. My dog woke up and said, I choose itchy face soldiers today. I'm going to let you borrow my trimmers. I hate you, Hug. I love you, Hug. I'm going to take that $20. I'm going to go buy me some beer for this game today. I'm going to still look as rough as I did on this morning's show, just to make a statement that, Hug, I don't give a shit about what you say about this disgusting beard that is on my face. You dirty son of a bitch.